Hello again. It's the 14th of June and I'm back here at Bempton. There's just two of us tonight. Pete's down there. And I just want to cover a quirky little story that I will fill in more detail over the next week or so. We came up here about 2 weeks ago, as we do many times during the week and at weekends. Nothing untoward, nothing unusual seen, and pack us things up, go home. Then one of the people with us said he'd had a strange anomaly on his tracker, on his phone and on his dash cam. So are things happening that you're not even aware of? This were pure fluke that he looked at his dash cam, then looked at the tracking information on his phone. Because we'll deal with dash cam first. He arrived at Bempton and parked up, but when he left the area, his journey didn't begin until he got to Newsham Hill, going out to Bempton, which is impossible because he didn't push his car and you know, he was driving it. So that's interesting in itself, that it didn't register the actual journey. Plus when he got towards, I think it's called Newsham Hill, I'll put some images in of the hill. When he got towards that location, there's a strange clicking sound on his dash cam, quite loud, which is fascinating, bearing in mind about 4 months ago the same dash cam picked up a flash of light as I drove towards Newsham Hill. It was behind me. Bearing in mind, about 3 months ago he was following me as I left this area. Obviously we're not driving a car in this area, but he was following me as we were driving home, and a flash of light appeared, not very high in the sky, and I pulled the car in and asked him if he'd seen it. He hadn't, but his dash cam had picked it up. So is it that area? I really don't know, but I found that part of it fascinating. Well, let's get back to this day in question, and I'll put the exact date up once I put the shot up with the screen grabs. I'll put the exact date up. I'm just filling you guys in on this at the moment for something that's going to come in the future. He's got the information on his phone, this tracker, and he's walked down to the cliffs with myself and Peter, and we've stood observing this incredible view. I mean, to be honest with you, look at the clouds over there. How fabulous do they look? And that's Filey Brig. Beyond that you've got Scarborough, beyond that you've got Ravenscar, and you maybe can see the 3 points sticking out. And then we'll just detract from the story of the strange travel anomaly for a moment. Then you've got Stakston Wold over that way, which is interesting because you've got Stakston Wold there, you've got the former RAF Bempton there, there's the standing stones, and in between that you've got the base of Speeton, so they run in line, which is quite fascinating. But let's get back to the tracking information on this phone. As I've said, we stood at one of the platforms way down the cliffs, about a mile down the cliffs there, and we were probably there till, I don't know, in between 10 and 11 at night. I'm being vague because I'm just filling you guys in with information because I'm going to do this in more detail. So he would never have looked at the tracking information on his phone if it wasn't for the fact that he thought that a silver car that passed him on the way home that night was belonged to one of the guys who'd been on the cliff tops with us. And he was just curious because he couldn't understand how he'd got in front of him. No mystery there, it turns out it was someone else. So that's covered that. But by doing that, he accessed his phone information, his tracker on his phone, and he accessed the dash cam on his car. Now the information on his phone showed him, or us as a group, we don't know, walk 5 miles in a straight line across the fields whilst we were all stood on the cliff tops and come back. No undulating path, no ups and downs, literally a journey of 5 miles across the fields, which is impossible because we got to that viewing platform and we did not move then. We probably spent 3 to 4 hours there. So what could have caused that glitch? I really don't know, but fascinating nonetheless. So just a little bit of information for something that I will be adding more detail to over the coming weeks. I'll probably also include the dash cam footage obtained from the same man from 3 or 4 months ago, when the anomaly, the light flash, appeared as I was driving towards Newsham Hill. Also, it's the 13th of June, and people will have noted from the Truth Proof books and from the radio shows and talks that I do that June appears to be a very, very active month along the eastern North Yorkshire coastline. And when I say active, I mean active regarding things of an unexplained nature. You know, we've got the aircraft that have gone down in mysterious circumstances in June. We've got strange light anomalies seen in June. Lots and lots of things. The peak of the animal fatalities, 2017 to 19. June was a very prominent month for the activity. So a mixture of lots of things today, and we haven't focused on one thing in particular. This is more of an exercise in filling in the blanks with more detail in the weeks and months to come. So we'll have one final look at the RAF base, which incidentally is totally out of bounds, as everyone knows. And then we'll walk back down here. It's not Friday the 13th, thank God. It's Friday the 14th, and we'll spend a few hours here just hoping that we might get a glimpse of whatever it is that's presenting out at sea, in the sky, and along the eastern North Yorkshire coastline. So if you're finding it interesting what we're talking about, what we're putting out, please press the like and subscribe button. I say it every time, but for those that don't know, it's totally free. But by doing that, you're supporting the channel, and it just gives us a little bit more of an incentive to keep doing these short accounts of the strange and of the unusual. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a great time wherever you are. Thank you.